SummerSlam, WWE's second biggest show of the year, is only 2 days away. With 8 confirmed matches at the time of recording this, here are my WWE SummerSlam 2020 predictions. Also, it's worth mentioning that my predictions to who's going to win the match and who I personally want to win are completely different. Match 1, Bayley versus Asuka. I believe that Asuka is going to win the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship and end the 10-month-old reign of Bayley. I do think that Sasha's going to try her best to help Bayley win, but I don't think that's going to be enough, leading to Asuka's victory. Maybe a little miscommunication to start the feud perhaps? Bayley's had a really good 10-month-old reign, but I think it's time that it ends. Match 2, Sasha Banks versus Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. I believe that Banks is going to find a way to retain, maybe a little help from Bayley perhaps? And then Bayley's miscommunication with Sasha Banks in the previous match will lead to them feuding over the Raw Women's Championship. Bayley would want to keep the Raw Women's Championship away from Asuka and keep it on Sasha Banks so she can take it from her. I also think that this could happen in the other direction where Bayley retains and Sasha loses her championship, but either way I see these events happening leading to a feud. Match 3, Apollo Crews versus MVP. My prediction is that MVP wins the United States Championship. I don't see why MVP would get another shot at the title if he's not going to win it, and he also debuted the championship design, so it makes sense for him to hold it at least once. This will probably include a distraction by Bobby Lashley or Shelton Benjamin, but I see MVP leaving SummerSlam as the new United States Champion. Match 4, Mandy Rose versus Sonya Deville. My prediction is that Mandy Rose wins, and I think they're going to have a really good match as well. I think the shorter hair will add to Sonya Deville's heel character, so who knows what will happen after this match, if the feud will even continue, or what's next for Sonya Deville or Mandy Rose. But I predict that Mandy Rose will win the match and keep her long, kind of a short hair. Match 5, Dominik Mysterio versus Seth Rollins in a street fight. I predict that Dominik Mysterio will win his debut match against Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. I believe Seth will make him look really good and strong for his first match, and I think that Dominik will have a star-making debut match and performance like Ronda Rousey and the Fiend's character last year. I just don't see Dominik losing his debut match, especially seeing as a reason why Mysterio is staying with WWE is if they work with Dominik and train him and look after him and treat him well. I remember reading that that's a big reason why Mysterio stayed with WWE. Match number 6, the Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza for the WWE Raw Tag Team Championships. I predict that Andrade and Angel Garza will win the WWE Raw Tag Team Championships. To make you feel old, I believe that the Street Profits won the Tag Team Championships when crowds were still a thing. Do you remember those days? Apparently Angelo Dawkins has been more serious in recent weeks, rather than the hyper and energetic self that he normally is. So I think that maybe a heel turn might be coming for him, and that could be ignited by the loss here. Match number 7, the monster Braun Strowman versus the Fiend Bray Wyatt for the Universal Championship. And yes, that's what WWE are calling Braun Strowman now, the monster. It's not some catchphrase that I thought of on the spot, it's what WWE are actually using for Braun Strowman, at least in this match anyway. I predict that the Fiend Bray Wyatt will win back the title that he never should have lost to Goldberg, and it will likely be because of some involvement with Alexa Bliss, causing Braun Strowman the championship. But there's also that chance that we could be swerved and Alexa and Braun are actually working together to defeat the Fiend and outsmart him. But I still predict that the Fiend will win. Match 8, Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. I predict, even though I want Drew to keep it, that Randy Orton will win the WWE Championship. How I think he's going to do this is by Flair coming out to support Drew as he's about to claim Randy Orton, but then he actually distracts Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton RKOs and punts Drew to win the WWE Championship. I don't think one RKO would be enough to keep a strong British champion down, so I think he needs to punt him, and I think he needs to continue using the punt for his character. The reason why I think Flair is going to turn heel again is because I believe the theory that he never turned face and Randy never actually punted him. If you remember on Raw, the lights went out as soon as Randy Orton punt kicked Ric Flair. We never actually saw the impact, so I believe the theory that this is actually a big swerve and they're still working together to outsmart Drew McIntyre. And if that isn't the reason why the lights went out when he punt kicked Ric Flair, then they likely went out to protect Ric Flair so he doesn't actually, get hit in any shape or form, but for the punt to still look devastating and effective, even if the lights are blacked out. So those are my predictions for WWE SummerSlam 2020. Do you agree with my predictions, or are yours different? Let me know in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video, whatever and whenever that may be. Adios amigos.